Tour Junkies.
What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the 2025 Tour Junkies Ryder Cup preview. Pat, take it away. National Anthem, go.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed, a little off there, at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and something through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glow, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free, and the home of the brave.
Completely unplanned. You are amazing. What a star.
Blanked a little bit in the middle.
What a star. Golly, that was amazing. I mean, and you know, I never knew that I enjoyed the Star Spangled Banner in 3 different keys until you did that. That was awesome. Thank you.
I don't know. I think I hit 4 different keys.
Maybe 4. It could have been 4. That was awesome. I mean, if we don't win after that, I don't know if it's ever going to happen.
We should definitely.
Listen, this is not going to be like a lot of Ryder Cup previews that you've listened to. You've probably been inundated with discussion, data, talk, blah, 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 blah. And you know what? We are not about that. We're not about that. We're just going to get to the goods. We're going to talk some bets. We're going to talk about our trip to the Ryder Cup. We both leave tomorrow. We're pumped about that. We're recording this on Wednesday night of the previous, Ryder Cup's in 2 days. So we're pumped. Presented to you, as always, by our friends at SoBet. Check it out. Click the link in the description. Get involved with SoBet. They're giving away cash prizes. No entry fee required. You don't have to be an expert bettor. Cash prizes being given away every single month on SoBet if you just throw out some good picks for the people. But of course, they have their really good, sharp, vetted handicappers on staff there at SoBet to dish out bets in every sport imaginable, unit allocations, transparency across the platform, unique bets that you can't find anywhere else on like X or TikTok. Get involved. Let's tail some real bettors and real handicappers, okay? We do our exclusive bets over there at SoBet. Every single week there's golf action. We're up over 20-something units this year. So check it out on SoBet. Click the link in the description and join us. Pat, we're just going to get into a few of our favorite bets that we see so far today. There's obviously going to be more drop once the pairings are up for Friday morning. And it's Bethpage, right? So let's first talk about Bethpage. And if you need me to share a screen or anything, I will. I do want to show the people some of the updates to bet the number here in a little bit, maybe more player specific, but I can bring that in later if we like. But what are we hearing about Bethpage? We know Bethpage a little bit from previous years, previous tournaments. We know it's a big boy course, but we've heard some rumors that they might. It's right in line with the wussification of America.
Yeah.
I feel like something's going on. Something's happening, and something's awry.
Well, I don't think we're going to fully know like how this setup favors the Americans till we kind of get out there. But here's the thing: is that I think, and we always talk about that too with these Ryder Cup setups, is they always are going to favor the home team. So that's kind of a given. What I've heard though is the course is probably going to play easier. We'll start right off the bat on the first hole. They basically had to move the tees up a little bit because of the whole grandstands that they, which is great because the first tee experience is amazing anyway.
Yeah.
So they got this huge build out there on the first tee and they had to move it up. So basically these guys can almost go for the green. So it kind of like Whistling Straits. If you remember that first hole at Whistling Straits, That was like almost a drivable par 4. A lot of birdies were on that first hole. So I think they're as a matter of fact, a lot of the guys were playing the back nine today, but they walked over to number 1 to try to just hit some drives out there and see what they could do. I know Xander hit one that was like 330 yards, and he was 20 yards from the green. I think Bryson was right next to the green, maybe one other. So hole number 1 is just an example. I think there's going to be a lot of birdie opportunities. The other thing is the rough. I don't think the rough is going to be near what it is typically in a major out at the Bethpage. I think it's actually, I've heard it's even lower than what it is just for normal people playing out there. So there you go, right there. You talk about the wussification of America. I mean,
Well,
they're
here we
already
do.
making this course setup a little bit easier. And I think maybe that plays into the US's hands. I don't know. I think we're going to find the little the little nuances of what they can do to this course that might favor the US later on. But right now, that's kind of what I'm hearing as far as the course setup.
Yeah. I tend to agree, like I trust Captain Keegan. I trust Captain Keegan.
Mm-hmm.
I just do. He's a young guy. He's not stuck in his old Stone Age ways like we've been for so long with a lot of Ryder Cup captains. I think he's going to be smart about it. I think he's probably sought a lot of help from veterans, from Ryder Cuppers past. And we do know that in years past, the teams that have hosted have really leaned into whatever advantage they could get in terms of course setup. That was, I don't think, ever better displayed than the Golf National in Paris when we walked up there in 2018 and were there in person and saw how Europe set that golf course up. And it was very different from how they set it up for the French Open, right, on the European Tour. And so I do trust that we're going to need every advantage we can get. Obviously, the crowd is going to be an advantage, but here we are at another Ryder Cup where right before it happens, I'm looking at the European team going, these guys are stacked. Like, these guys are
Yeah.
freaking loaded. There are very little question marks on Team Europe. There are question marks on Team USA, and we need all the help we can get. So I am just putting my full faith and trust that whatever rumors, whatever the rough is doing, whatever the setup is calling for, whatever, golf outlets, golf publications, golf pundits out there are pissing and moaning about the whole thing. We're just not going to do that on the show. We're just going to say, we trust Captain Keegan.
I agree. I mean, I'm going to trust it, and I'm going to trust that the crowd's going to be behind this U.S. team, and that's going to help pull them through. Other
Yeah.
than that, that's it. That's really all you can go off of. I mean, because there is definitely some question marks with some individual players on this team, and yeah, we got to trust where they are and what Captain Keegan's going to do. But yeah, you're right. I mean, top to bottom, this looks like a very formidable, winning kind of European team who's not favored. So
Yeah. We'll get to the teams here in a second. I wanted to get your thoughts on this. Speaking of the crowd, because we all know, and Bethpage has been circled for years going, holy crap, when they get in New York and that New York crowd gets a hold of these Euros, like, you can just believe that this is it's going to get real. There's going to be some stuff said. There's going to be some drunks. There's going to be, although I don't know if you saw the beer prices, Pat, but I saw them. Have you seen them?
I'm sure they're ridiculous.
It's insane. So I don't know. Like, you better bring a wad of cash if you're going to be drinking a ton out there. It's basically $20 for a beer, for a canned beer.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's going to be some stuff said. We're going to see videos. There's going to be clickbait about how rude this fan was and how awful the U.S. There's going to be all of that. That's part of it. Europe did it too. We saw it. We heard it. We felt it. It is what it is. I do think Bethpage is going to be a ratchet up. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's all contained and cordial or whatever. But I could not, and this is not, I guess this is like rumored, but I don't know if you saw the Twitter conversation I had today.
I didn't.
Something came up about Ben Coley wrote about Matt Fitzpatrick's parents refusing to come because they weren't going to feel comfortable in the crowd. And Ben cited so I reply and I'm like, are we serious? Because we don't feel comfortable? Really? Is it that bad? And he replied with a video of Bryson complaining a couple years ago about the banter that the fans were saying, and some of the stuff they were saying was getting a little out of hand. I said, Ben, There's a difference between Bryson DeChambeau, who everyone knows. He is known by everyone on the grounds. He's playing in the golf tournament. He's a competitor, tolerating unbecoming things in the stand. Like, there's a difference between that and Matt Fitzpatrick's obscure, unknown parents. Like,
I would have no clue.
You would have no clue. If Matt Fitzpatrick's mama had a few too many $20 beers and pinched me on the ass, and I turned around and said, "Well, hello there," and she said, "Oh, good day. You're very cheeky bum is attractive to me," I would have no idea that it was Matt Fitzpatrick's mom. Now, if it was his wife, I think I would recognize her. But his mom, I have no idea. And are we serious? Like, you feel? And so I was like, "Are we talking about they're afraid for their physical safety?" And he's like, "Well, I don't know." The reporter asked. I'm like, That is again. I'm sorry, but like, I'm just gonna start it now. Europe is softer than baby crap. Like, they're just, this is so soft. Like, I can't. There are definitely people who are not, but the persona is like, God, really, guys? Like, we throw people in jail for social media posts, and Matt Fitzpatrick's parents don't feel safe walking around the grounds of Bethpage. Are we really?
Yeah. Hey, how about try to be an Alabama fan? I don't care if you're a parent of an Alabama fan or whatever, coming into Athens, Georgia.
You're going to be barked at.
You want to really see what it's like? I mean, come on. Don't only talk about the Ryder Cup and Bethpage. I know it's going to be rowdy, but try that.
How do you think Miss Fitzpatrick would feel when a 19-year-old on probably coke and booze runs over to her and lifts his leg like he's hiking to take a piss on her ankle because she's wearing a Bama shirt? Like,
yeah,
I mean, the kid. I guess it's just unbelievable. So, right now, then and there,
they do allow everyone and their brother inside the ropes when it comes to family members.
Just go in the ropes,
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they if you maybe you just shouldn't go inside the ropes, even though you have that ability. Matt Fitzpatrick's parents, and just kind of be amongst the crowd, turn your credential around or something so they can't see who it is. But I don't, I can't even believe that. I'm glad I didn't get a hold of that.
Unreal. Speaking of things to be said, I got a new one-liner. I don't know, man. Like, maybe I'm just old, but I never get tired of a new golf one-liner. Like, and some of them, they don't even have to be new. Like, some of them are just classics, and most of them I can't repeat on the show. I don't want to repeat on the show, but like when you're playing with your boys, or you play with a really funny caddy, and he's got just zinger after zinger, and he's just popping off with funny golf things to say. I got a new one that I picked up, and I want to use it, and I want to see if I can get it on the broadcast because I think it would really play. Are you ready? This is what it is.
Okay, I'm ready.
Balls in the air. Great contact. It's approach shot, so it could be a tee shot on a par 3. That's where I'm thinking. I think this is a tee shot on a par 3 kind of move. You're like behind the tee box. Scheffler sends one off, and it's flag hunting, and you say, "That thing's tighter than fat girl socks, Scotty." I think that's the new one. Tighter than fat girl socks. That's what we're going with.
I mean, do we know what size Fitzy's parents are? Because I don't know.
Well, I guess we'll never know. They can't make it. They're too afraid.
Yeah.
I want to use that one. If anybody has any other suggestions, drop those in the YouTube comments. Send us a DM. We'll see if we can work that out. We'll have a gaggle of us Tour Junkies fans descending upon Bethpage on Saturday. We're going to be there bright and early. Saturday's going to be a long day, folks. It's going to be a long day. Check out the Instagram stories. We'll try to put some content up there. Thanks to our friends at Elite Events for putting together an awesome week. We're going to have a great time. We're getting there tomorrow. Yankees game, playing golf on Friday with our friends. Good time Friday night. Probably need to retire early on Friday night. Getting up at like 5 in the morning on Saturday to be at Bethpage when they tee off on Saturday, and then straight from there to a bar. What is it? Blue Haven bar. For the Georgia Bama game, and it is also Penn State Oregon that at the same time, and it's a Penn State bar.
Huge game. So it's going to be a pretty good atmosphere.
Yeah. So it'll be a late night Saturday after a long day. Waking up Sunday, going to sleep in, and then go just watch some football, watch some golf, gamble our hearts content in a legal gambling state. So all that to say, if you're around, if you're out there, hit us up. We'll hang out, tell you where we're going on Saturday and Sunday. You're welcome to join us. It's going to be a great time. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing our Tour Junkies friends, our Nut Hut guru, one of our Nut Hut long-term guys, and contributor to TourJunkies.com, Vince Money Marge, is going to be there. Some of his friends. Looking forward to seeing him. It's going to be a good time. The crowd is going to be crazy. Trump's going to be there. I think he's coming on Friday apparently, or he's gonna miss us, but he's coming on
Yeah.
Friday. That'll be interesting. Anything else on the golf course? We don't. It doesn't really.
No. I mean,
How much does it
Bethpage
really matter other than just like setup, right? I mean, it's just
I don't yeah.
yeah. Our
We
friend,
matter.
we matter.
We
The
matter.
crowd matters.
We
Yeah.
matter. The crowd matters more than anything, I think. This is one where you matter, DB. We get to
This is
matter
true.
at a golf tournament.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I want to give a big shout out to our friends at Bet the Number because they have outdone themselves. Bet the Number is taking it up a notch, folks, and it's starting with the Ryder Cup, and it's going to continue through the fall, and it's going to continue into next year with a lot of new features and a lot of new enhancements. But they have outdone themselves when it comes to Ryder Cup content. They've pulled in a lot of good stuff. There's a Ryder Cup tab at the top of the screen. If you've not checked it out, you can look at records, how many matches they played in singles, four balls, foursomes, all of them. You can narrow it down between U.S. and Europe players. Obviously, there's information on the golf course on Bethpage that they pulled from previous tournaments that were held here at Bethpage. And, of course, all the player data. And they even have I think that they've got the model up and running. So definitely check that out. This is a very cool feature, and I will be referencing it a lot tonight, as well as before I make my picks, tomorrow and Friday.
I think one thing that's important to note, DV too, is that one of the folks behind, one of the brains behind the operation, worked for the U.S. Ryder Cup team.
Yeah,
at least a year or two. I don't know, and so I think we've got some pretty good people working behind the scenes here that know what they're talking about when it comes to a Ryder Cup and stats.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. It's good stuff. So check out Bet the Number. They're going to keep working on the product and improving the product all throughout the fall. You'll see you'll see new things. You'll see a lot of new things come January in the spring. So check it out. Click the link in the description. Join. They've got. I think they're still doing the discounted season pass. You might have to check it out. But code TJ will get you a nice discount. Link in the description. So let's get into it, Pat. You just want to trade blow for blow on bets here, or you want me to pull up a few of my bets and we can talk through them? Maybe you have them, maybe you don't.
Yeah, I've got some. You wanna start, and we can go back and forth.
If you have any screenshots, you can send me those and I'll pull them up. All right, I'll start with a few of mine, and I don't know what kind of order these are in, but we'll just throw them up here, and I'll throw them up and bring them down. Let's talk about the first one, and that is Europe plus 70 to win, plus 170 to win. I don't like. We did this a couple years ago. Plus 170 for Europe to take the trophy and win is just too juicy if you're a bettor. I hate to do it. I mean, I want the U.S. to win. I hope I lose those. I hope I lose that money. I hope I lose it. I hope I win it. I hope I win it all back on Sunday betting on the NFL or Saturday night betting on the Dogs, which I normally don't do, but in that scenario, I think I will. I guess I can't win it because if it's not going to be done until Sunday. Sunday night football, maybe I'll hit. But plus 170 is just too good. I think this European team is just too stacked. And I'm going to be surprised if the U.S. pulls it out. I mean, I mentioned that there are warts on the U.S. team. First of all, you've got 4 rookies versus 1 rookie. So a lot less experience on Team USA with Ben Griffin, Henley, Spawn, and Cam Young being rookies. Obviously, Henley's got a lot of other experience. Probably, I think he's got President's Cup experience, been on tour for a long time. But, Patrick Cantlay, Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa, Xander Schauffele, those 4 names that have been staples at the Ryder Cup are not, to this point, have not played that well. I mean, Cantlay's turned it up a little bit late in the season. JT was okay this year. Xander's never really felt like himself. Didn't play the Pro Tour. I think he felt bad or something. Morikawa sucked again, and I think that just matters more than people want to. I don't know. I think it matters. Obviously, Scotty and Bryson are it. Burns concerns me just in general. He was not a captain's pick I would have taken. That's like the one that I didn't really like. He concerns me with just spraying it all over the yard. Maybe they cut the rough down because of Sam Burns.
Just for him.
Yeah. This is not like a Bermuda heavy spot for him. I know he's a dog. I know if he's on, he's a killer. And maybe he's more of a 4-ball player, where you can pair him with Scotty, his best buddy, and Scotty can pick him up, and hopefully Sam could just go wild on a few holes that Scotty makes par on. But he worries me. Harris English is Harris English. Like, I don't know. This is going to be a big golf course for him. And then all those rookies. This is going to be a big golf course for JJ Spaun and Russell Henley. So I just think there are a lot of question marks on Team USA. And what are the question marks on Europe? It's Rasmus Højgaard. And basically,
that's literally it.
That's it.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I get how well Sepp has played all year long. There's part of me that worries about him a little bit, but it's a slight worry. It's just kind of like a cloudy day worry. It's not like a storm cloud, you know?
Yeah. I just think top to bottom, the crowd better be a big advantage.
I agree. Did you mention Xander too?
Yeah, I did. Or I was going to say that like Cantlay, Thomas, Morikawa, and Xander are going to have to do something that they have not done all year, really.
And I agree. And there's been some things come out about Xander that he feels like he's, playing better and whatever else, but he still seems unsure until he gets out there. So that's kind of like partly positive, but then also concerning.
Yeah.
Which is why we're saying what we are. So I agree. I think plus 170. The smart, as much as I want to bet on the USA and I feel like they can win and all these kind of things, the smart money is on the European team at plus 170.
All right, I want to run through these quickly, so let me get to it. I think Ludwig is going to have a big week. I'm going Ludwig top point scorer overall, so that's 19-1. Obviously, that means he's also got to beat Scotty and Bryson and those guys. But I mean, just for the value, I like it. I think it's a great golf course for Lud. He started to show up towards the end of the year after having kind of a lull there. So I love, if I want like a number large enough, it feels like I hit an outright, I'll bank on Lud. I picked Europe as the tournament foursome winner. So that's alt shot for those of you at home that hadn't figured that out. That's a bet that I bet every Ryder Cup just because Europe just tends to clean the floor with us in alt shot with their chemistry, with the way they do things. So that's a plus 135 on DraftKings. I'm buying Europe in the alt shot capability and the chemistry and the experience at alt shot. So I'm going there. I'm going Cam Young, top U.S. debutant at plus 210. U.S. only, 4 rookies, top debutant for Cam Young. And that's mainly because it's the home field for him, home crowd, and it's a golf course that suits him extremely well, far better than it does JJ Spaun and Russell Henley. I do think Cam's going to get a significant amount of opportunity to play. Like I could see Cam Young playing more than JJ Spaun. If he's on, like I could see him playing more because of the course fit, because of the course behind him, the crowd behind him. And I could see him playing more than Ben Griffin, depending on how that goes too. So I think he's going to get ample opportunity. I'll go 2 more here and I'll let you ride. Obviously, Ludwig is a play. So top European wild card is a bet on DraftKings, which basically means captain's pick. And that is at plus, what did I say, 370? 370? No. Yeah, 370. Top Euro wild cards. I mean, that's basically between Rahm, which is a big one, Rahm, Hovland, Lowry, Fitzpatrick, and Sepp Straka. If he can come out on top there with more points, that's a plus 370. And the last one I'll give you for now is Xander's total points. I'm an unders guy. My son hates this about me, by the way. Minus 160. I'm taking Xander under 2. So less than 2. Wait a minute. It could get 2 or less.
Yeah.
I hit. Minus 160.
Okay. I like that. I looked at that one actually.
Are there any that you like? You just completely you're not in on? Like,
there's not really any that I'm completely not in on. Now, there's one I went the opposite. There's a few that I went the opposite direction on, but I can't argue with what you've got. I'll start with we already said I think Europe winning at plus 170 is a bet. I actually wrote down and have several top point scorers. Now you don't have to. I probably wouldn't take all of these, but I do have 3 that I really like, or actually really 2. I like Jon Rahm at plus 900. I think that's a good number for Jon Rahm. I think he's going to have a really good Ryder Cup. I think this is a good course for him. All the things. So I think plus 900 is a good number for him. Now here's where I think we're going to differ. I believe in this guy more than you do. I believe in Russell Henley more than you do. I think Russell Henley can be the top U.S. point getter, and that is at 18-1. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the new duo
Wow.
for the U.S. is Scotty Scheffler and Russell Henley. That's it. And you've already seen it in the practice rounds. They've played a lot of practice rounds together this week. That is going to be the duo. So he's going to have Scotty as his partner, which
Wow.
means he
Okay.
can
I
win
didn't know that.
points with Scotty. So, and Russell was 3-1 at the President's Cup. So he's a debutante for the Ryder Cup, but the President's Cup that he just played last year he was very good, and he was 3-1, and that was his first President's Cup. I think he comes from that background. We talk about guys that kind of have that dog in them.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean that.
He's
I mean
got
that
it.
as a Georgia Bulldog, but also like that dog when it comes to match play. I think he's
Yeah.
got it. Now the course isn't necessarily the most perfect fit, but if it's set up a little easier, I think Russell can really take advantage of it. And he's just going to take advantage too of having Scotty as his partner.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
I think Russell as the top debutante is a pretty good number there at top debutante at plus 180. Sorry for the U.S. And then he's 18-1 as the top point scorer. But I think the better play is probably plus 180. I went with an under too, DB. I don't think Morikawa is going to have a good Ryder Cup. I really don't. And he's minus 115 to have 1.5 or under on on total points. And I think he's not going to have a good one. Now that's okay. I think he can get lifted up in other ways, by his teammates, by other guys that are playing well. But I don't feel it for Colin. So I do like that minus 115 on the under there. And I think I also looked at birdies are better. And Bryson DeChambeau is plus 700. I think he's the third favorite for birdies or better. I think Bryson's going to just freaking be aggressive as hell out there. It's not, it's not a cumulative score, type event. It's not your normal tournament. He's going to play as aggressive as he can. He's going to have a lot of birdies and he's going to have a lot of X's. But yeah. I think him being having the most birdies or better is a pretty good bet at plus 700. I like it.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually. I might ride with you on that one. That could be a fun one.
Yeah, I think that would be a fun one just to pull for him to have birdies. You don't care about points.
Yeah.
You just care about birdies.
Yeah.
So I like that one. That was it for me right now.
All right, let me pull up a few others.
Oh, wait. I got one more I want to give you.
Okay.
I did a matchup for the BTN newsletter this week. Now this is just most points.
Your matchups have been hot, by the way. You've been hot.
Yeah, they've been good.
Hey, hold on. By the way, I didn't get a chance to brag on this, but our show for the Pro Core, I hit both of those parlays, 3-1 and 11-1 with the Scotty Scheffler win and the NFL bets. 3-1 and 11-1 Pro Core Sunday afternoon.
That is
the Buccaneers coming from behind and winning whatever game they should have crushed that game. They came from behind and won in the last drive of the game. Hit the 11. That was the last game on the 11-1 parlay card. We've been cleaning up for the people. Sorry.
We have. But there are matchup bets that are out there right now before the pairings are even out. And it's literally just total points between the two players or most points between the two players. I like Tommy Fleetwood at minus 130 over Xander Schauffele. I already mentioned it earlier. I think Xander's game has been questionable at best all year long. Tommy has been playing absolutely lights out.
Yeah.
We saw him win the Tour Championship, the FedEx Cup, all that kind of stuff. But that was on the heels of having, whatever. It seemed like 5 or 6 straight top fives in a row. So I think Fleetwood at minus 130 over Xander Schauffele is a pretty good bet there.
He's 7-3-2 in the Ryder Cup. Tommy Ladd is in 12 matches. Xander is 4-4 in 8 matches.
Yeah.
All right, I got a few more. I'm also going you're not going to like that. I'm going 2 or less points for Jon Rahm. At minus 115. A little juicy, but still not the minus 160 that I put out there for whoever it was. Yeah, I think Rombo. By the way, did you see the picture of him last night at the gala?
No.
You should look at it. You should look at it. Just
let me
give it a look. Anyway, I think Rombo's going to hear it from the crowd. I think obviously he's a good Ryder Cupper. We know that. He's 6-3-3 in 12 career matches. But I don't know. He wasn't great on live this year. He wasn't to himself. I'm just betting on I'm an unders guy again. I go back to it. Are you looking at it?
Yeah. It's a little distracting. That's
Yeah.
distracting.
Anyway, okay, another unders. I'm hitting unders, baby. Unders. Total halved matches under 4.5. Total halved matches for the whole tournament, for the whole event. Now, I went back and looked. I think I hit this over 2 years ago, but it barely hit. You'd be surprised. It feels like there's a lot more halves than there are, I think, but under 4.5. So I can have 4 matches halved and we're good. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just, I was looking for unders. And then longest putt hold over under 53.5 feet. I don't know. I'm banking on kind of a lower than normal green and regulation percentage. So you got closer putts because they're chipping or what, you got a lot of long approaches here. So it might miss more greens. It's not like this place is full of these teams are full of like incredible putters. I'm sure Justin Rose or somebody will kill me on it, but I just was looking I was looking for unders. Under 4.5 singles matches to go to the 18th hole, minus 120. I'm banking on things getting closed out before 18 on Sunday. These are just kind of dumb, fun prop bets. USA to win all 5 sessions. This is my hedge. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And maybe I've big brained this because obviously I think the Europe at plus 170 is the move. But at 40-1, just in case I'm like completely the US and Bethpage crowd and, we just run Matt Fitzpatrick's parents and everybody else off of the golf course that's pulling for Europe, and then we just embarrass them. If they win all 5 sessions, it's 40-1. It's just a lottery ticket. Let's just see, And then the last one is one of these long shot parlays that DraftKings cooked up called the Scotty to Hottie. Scheffler to make the most birdies or better, which is antithetical to your Byron, and the USA to win every session.
80-1.
Obviously a little correlation. Obviously a little correlation there because if we win every session, you got to think Scotty's probably lighting it up. But yeah, 80-1. I mean, yeah, those were just for fun.
I got 2. I got 2 more.
Okay,
are you done?
I'm out. I'm done for now.
All right, so here's a potential hedge actually against if you have the
legitimate
Euros
hedge.
Winning, this is probably a legitimate one. I think DraftKings has the Saturday Surge play, which is basically the Euros lead after day 1. But then the USA comes back on Saturday.
The day we're
out there to be leading after day 2. Ooh. That's plus 200, plus 900, plus 900.
That could be a fun sweat while we're out there.
Yeah. So the US is losing after day 1, but they come back after day 2 and they take the lead going into day 3 is plus 900. I think that could be a potential hedge if you want to, and then the Euros win, the final day.
I wonder what the difference would be though in the number if you just wait and see if Europe's leading. If you don't bet anything, you just see if Europe's leading after round 1, and then I'm sure they'll offer like US leading after round 2. I wonder what that number
it could be. Yeah.
Anyway,
last one I would say is minus 130 DV for the captain's pick on either. I'm assuming this is either squad to be the top point scorer in the Ryder Cup. I don't see that at all. I think
any captain's pick?
Any captain's pick will be the top point scorer for the week. I don't see that. I think if I don't know where I read it, or maybe somebody told it to me, but I feel like historically captain's picks have done okay. They haven't like lit it up historically. So I don't see a captain's pick being the total point scorer, top point scorer for the entire Ryder Cup.
Your boy Rahm would have to be. Rahm and Ludwig to me are the 2 scarier ones for that. Maybe Hovland. Those are the 3 that worry me the most on that. But yeah. All right, good stuff. Anything else?
No, that's all I got for my plays.
We're wearing our
like you said, we'll get more as the week comes out later. So the pairings come out.
Wearing our throwback 2016 Ryder Cup Golby shirts. We had these made way back then, way back when. This was the fully sublimated. We took this to the grass on Hazeltine and led the U.S. to victory that fateful Sunday. It's going to be a good stuff. I'm excited about it. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, hanging out. Everybody like and subscribe, comment, share with us what we should be screaming on the tee, some creative things. You guys can all have the tighter than fat girl socks. I know you all can't wait to say that on your own home course. Everybody's excited to say that. And I hope I see Fitzpatrick. I hope the Fitzpatricks are brave enough to make it out. If they are, I'm actually gonna. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going if I find out they're out there and somebody can tell me what they look like, I will make it a point to show them some Southern hospitality, and I'll buy them both a beer, and
$40 of beers.
Yeah.
How about we split it?
Okay, I'll buy Miss Fitzpatrick a beer. You buy Mr. Fitzpatrick a beer.
Yeah,
a pint or whatever, and we'll tell them. We'll show them the red. We'll tell them there's nothing to be afraid of.
I'll give him a t. Maybe I'll have a Tour Junkies t-shirt with me. I'll give him a t-shirt.
Yeah,
yeah. Maybe I'll throw it at him like you did to Mrs. Reed.
Yeah,
I mean, literally accosted her. I mean, I don't know. You probably could have gone to jail.
Now we're friends. Now we're friends.
But now you're friends. So.
All right. Listen. Another thing that's dropping. So, we need to get this out of the way, Pat. I didn't even think about this. So we're flying back on Monday. We're going to be exhausted. And we're not doing a show for whatever that golf tournament is next week. Sanderson, we're not doing a show. We'll have some picks on SoBet. We'll put some stuff in the Discord, but no shows. And but there is a show dropping on Monday, and it is us celebrating our 10 years of doing Tour Junkies, reminiscing, talking about the good old days, some good times, just reminiscing some of our favorite times, have some laughs. That'll be it. Nothing fancy. That show drops on Monday. You're not going to want to miss that one. So check it out. Everyone have a great week. Enjoy the Ryder Cup. Bend over your bookies. See ya. Out. Tour Junkies featuring David Barnett is not an affiliate of CWM LLC. Opinions expressed by the host or guests do not reflect those of CWM LLC. CWM LLC does not endorse gambling or the entities promoted by the Tour Junkies podcast. David is a non-registered representative of CWM LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.